This can of tennis balls cost me $3.98, while this can of tennis balls cost me $24. What exactly is the difference? Is this worth the money, or should you stick with the old classic? Today, we're going to find out. In order to find out which ball is better, I've put together 5 pieces of testing criteria to decide which is better. First is the look of the packaging. Second is the smell of the ball. Third is a bounce test. Fourth is a serve speed test. And then fifth is a play test where I'm gonna go out and actually play with these balls and see which is better. Now, I have worked for months with the top scientists in the world to develop this criteria. It is a foolproof way to test which ball is better, so we will not be taking questions at this time. After the first round of tests, I'm gonna wait 3 days and come back and do all the tests again and see which ball is more durable and will last longer. Let's get right to it. All right, our first set of balls is the Pin Championship. This is classic. If you play USTA League, UTR matches, most people are going to bring this to play with. It's cheap and it gets the job done. Now they just changed their packaging and I hope it uses less plastic because it looks way worse. It looks cheap, the branding's not great, I'm just not a huge fan of it. The next ball is the expensive ball, it's the Dunlop Fort. Now this packaging is awesome. It's an aluminum can and it just looks expensive. It looks like these balls could last for a long time. It looks like they are heavy duty. I can't really tell the difference between tennis balls, but this thing, just the branding and the packaging, makes it look awesome. Next up is arguably the most important test, and that is the smell test. Only real tennis players will understand and respect this, but this is one of the most important things about the tennis ball. Man, there's just nothing like cracking open a new can. Just a classic smell. The Pin Championship just smells like chemicals, glue, a little bit of felt. I'm gonna give that a 8 out of 10. Really does the job exactly how you want it to. Next up is the Dunlop Fort. I have some high expectations for the smell of these bad boys. Paid a lot of money for these, so it better do something good to me. Ooh, that was a nice little crack. Wow, this one almost smells like a basketball, like rubber. Getting less of the chemical smell. You know what, the Dunlop Fort, that's a 9 out of 10. I need this in a bottle for Breeze, spray it all over my house. That'll get you going. That'll get you ready to play some tennis. Oh my God, what a smell. Now time for the drop test. You got 2 seconds in the comments to vote who you think's gonna win this thing. Slow-mo cameras, it's the Dunlop by a little bit. I don't know if my eyes are deceiving me, but it looks like the Dunlop bounced a little bit higher. All right, now we're on to the serve speed portion. Obviously, I serve the exact same every time, so we don't have to worry about human error here. And we have the best speedometer of all time, the $65 NetPlays Smart Pro. It's actually terrible. It's a really bad device, but it will be bad for both balls. So what I'm gonna do is hit 6 balls each, and then we're gonna take an average of the serve speed and see which one's better. 78, there's no way that's 78 miles an hour, but whatever. 62. 67. 76. 77. 70. Now onto the Dunlop Fort. I'm expecting a little more pop from these. Come through. 82. There's definitely a little more weight on these balls and they're moving faster. 93. 72. 84. 72. 77, that's gotta be like 110. But I'm not good at quick math, so let's pause the screen right here. So that is the serve speed challenge. We've got a little advantage for the Dunlop for the more expensive, but it's not by much. Now I'm gonna head to Austin High, play with my friend Aaron, and feel the difference when we're actually hitting. I'm interested. This is probably the most important one. Starting out with the classic pins. I already know what these are like. I play with these bad boys all the time. They're not my preferred ball, but you know, that's what most people bring. So pretty used to this. I'll kind of talk through my feedback as we hit. But you know, it's a tennis ball. And it gets the job done for about $1 a ball. What more can you ask for? So not a lot to note here. As always, I think these are a little bouncier, a little lighter than the other balls. The biggest thing is going to be seeing that contrast when we move to that $24 Dunlop pack. And I can't talk and hit. Shit. Tried and true ball. It's a tried and true ball. You're making the switch to the Dunlop Fort all court. These bad boys, $4 a pop. Can I tell a difference? My immediate reactions is just more weight. They're sturdier. That's a bad backhand. Nice slice. They just feel a little sturdier. The wind is affecting them less. Feel like they got a little more pop. Like our hitting immediately has gotten way more consistent. Guys, our hitting with these balls is miles better. Another big thing I'm noticing, they don't bounce as high. I feel like the other one bounces higher. We'll have to look at that bounce test. But to me, it feels like these just pack a little bit more thud, and there's a lot less balls over the shoulder. I brought my more experienced tennis friend Aaron here to give a little bit of a breakdown, but immediately with the expensive balls, our rallies were way better.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's kind of like I was just telling Trey, I don't know if it's because I think the balls are higher quality and that just makes us do a little bit better, but I don't know, all around, I mean, just from holding it, it feels a lot more solid, whereas with the pins, you know, your standard that you would get from like Walmart or Target or Dick's Sporting Goods, it feels like you can really compress those a lot more. It feels like that there's more air in between the pins, but with this, it just feels more solid, like it has a core and some other layers to it. I don't know the science, I'm definitely not an expert in this by any means, but they felt 100% like I was plowing through the shots more, like it was staying on my racket. It felt great.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut these bad boys open, see if there's anything different on the inside. Immediately to me, felt the exact same way. They're a little more weight, just like a little more weight to them, it feels like. And those just feel like when you hit them, they go where you want them to more often. I don't know.
Yeah, it makes me feel like I'm playing tennis good, I guess you could say.
Which, who knows, it could be. We started with the pins, we got more warm, we're starting to hit it better. But honestly, feel-wise, I prefer these bad boys. And we are back 3 days later to complete some more tests. Now the big thing today is durability. No one likes playing with dead tennis balls, and I spent $24 on these bad boys, so they better be still usable 3 days later. So we're gonna run that bounce test again, see if they lost any juice, and then hit the court for another session to see just how big the difference is 3 days later. In the bounce test 3 days later, I still see the Dunlop with maybe a couple millimeters higher. I'm not sure. Let me know what you think in the comments. let's take a look at these balls and see just how they've held up. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I like playing with the Dunlops a little bit more, and so they have gotten more use in the hitting sessions the past 3 days. But they both look pretty solid. Big thing obviously is going to be the play. How do they feel when me and Aaron are out there hitting today? We'll find out here in a second. So unfortunately, it's been a rainy week here in Austin, and our hitting session was very short, but not a whole lot has changed. These balls both held up very nicely after 3 days, while we still gave the edge to the Dunlop. It's time to cut these things open. If you're wondering if a knife can cut a tennis ball open, we've already answered that question on the channel in what might be the most underappreciated winners only video. But anyways, let's see if these balls have any sort of difference on the inside. I'm telling you right now, the Dunlop is much more difficult to cut open. I don't know if that tells you anything. All right, so the right side we got the Dunlop, the left side we got the pin. You can see on this Dunlop, there's clearly a larger layer of felt, and I think there's even a larger layer of rubber. So, and just going like this, you can tell this one's way sturdier. This is just very flimsy. This takes a little pressure to get it to move. So the question, is the expensive ball worth it? I'm gonna be honest, probably not. As we've seen, it's definitely a better ball, but is it 4 times better than the pin? Definitely not. Let me know what you think. Tell me what balls you use in the comments. Did you learn anything from the video? Let me know what you want to see next. Winners only. Peace.